can't think of her name, but I can see her.
Load that in the source monitor here.
I can't think of his name, but I can see his face.
Yeah.
They were cute together.
It looks like there's 2 takes of this.
Hello.
Hi, folks.
Kayla,
All right, so
Lori,
we can
John
probably pick it up
Brownstone.
right here.
BDSM, or we help kinksters like you have happy, healthy power exchange
And then
relationships.
end right
This is
there.
the weekly
So I'll just
live
add
stream
this
where we record our
right to the
podcast,
beginning,
available on all podcast
right after the
apps.
ingredient
If
shot.
you arrive
Before you start assembling the
after
ingredients,
this starts,
preheat your oven to
before
325
I get
degrees.
timestamps
This
in, we are
temperature
9
is a little
minutes
bit lower
early.
than the standard
So
375.
if you don't
And I think I
want
can
the
probably
butt rub
trim it
portion,
so that
that's what
we
call this
come back to
portion when we're
her
early.
right after she says 325 degrees. But I want to make
You're
sure
here
on
live
this
as we're
clip
starting your
Oven
stuff.
to
Sorry, go get a
325
coffee or
degrees.
something.
Yeah.
that she sets the temperature and she
Vanessa.
pulls her
Hi,
hand
Tayshia.
away.
Hello.
So what I can do
there
is I'll just
hopefully
trim
Tayshia
up
will
the
be
end
an ad
here.
up until
So I'm going to
the
hit
moment I
Y
actually
on the
put real
keyboard,
title.
and I'm going to change to the slip tool. What the slip tool is going to allow me to
Or you
do
drop an
is
F-bomb.
leave
I'm trying
the
not to.
start of the clip
Hi,
set
Angel.
here
Hi, Adriana.
and the end of the clip
trying so
here,
hard not to.
but
We
it'll
are
allow
here
me
8
to
minutes
slide the
early.
footage in
So-
between
And,
these 2 boundaries.
I
So
just
essentially,
wanna
I'll be changing the in point
this little
and the out
disclaimer
point
right up
at the
front.
same exact time, but I will
there may
leave the
be a point I
duration
have to
of this clip
disappear.
exactly the same.
There might
So-
be.
So what I
That's
want to
the
see is the end of the clip here.
Yes, and
I
what
want to see
we'll
her
do
hand
if
just
that occurs
leaving the
is we'll
knob. So I'm going to
probably
click and
literally
drag
pause
to the
our commercial
left
break,
here.
pause the audio that we're
Yeah.
recording, and
On the
we'll
left-hand
just
side, it's showing me the
chat
start
until
frame,
he comes
and on the
back.
right-hand
Yeah.
side,
That's what
it's
we're
showing me the
Right.
end frame.
If we're in the bonus section, I'll just.
So I think I can
you
go
do all
right
the
about
talking anyway.
there. Let me see what that looks like.
Before you start
audio,
assembling the
there's no
ingredients,
cooking. There's
preheat
a
your oven to
fan in the background.
325 degrees.
Yeah.
That might
This
be the
temperature
sound.
is a
I mean,
little-
Lola's not even.
I'll switch back to
No.
the selection tool
Might be the
here.
fan.
I think that was pretty close.
we're gonna turn
I may extend this out by
not.
just a
Have to
few
melt the
frames.
I hope not.
Now we
55
we
degrees.
were having problems
This
with
temperature
my
is a little bit-
mic.
I think that works pretty well.
There's audio.
So we want
of
to
a
take the low and
cooking
slow
show.
approach. We want the middle of these cookies to be a perfect golden brown before the edges get too dark.
Huh.
According to the shot
It's
list, I don't have
producer
any other shots
instructions.
listed
What the
that were planned for this shot, but let me see if I can find another shot to patch
Pull it up so you
that
can
little
see
edit
if
point
you can
together.
figure out what's going on.
I have a shot listed here, cookie
Put the oven
close-up
to
on
30
rack cutaway. Let me take a
Put the
look
oven
at
to
that.
365 degrees.
No.
What?
Ooh, I see. We got a camera going into the cookies on the rack, and a nice little close-up here
Weird.
of these 2 cookies. I think that would actually work really well as she's talking about
commercial.
the level of
You can
doneness
skip it,
on
it's
these
okay, I'll
cookies. So I might pick an in point
You don't have your
right here,
volume
and then pick an out point right here and see if that works to slot in here. Let me check this out.
We want the middle of these cookies to be a perfect golden brown before the edges get too dark.
Well, okay, that's not going to work super great. Let me just slide it back and then
on? Let's try this.
pick an out point
Well,
right here.
hello and welcome.
Cookies to slot in here.
Okay,
Let me check
let me
this
see if I just made it stop, y'all.
These cookies to be a
Nope.
perfect golden brown.
Gotta take a second.
Okay, that's true too.
Hold on, let's see if I made it stop.
Super great. Let me just
See,
slide it
watch.
back.
I'm watching us on the video. I know what it was. I'll tell you if I make it work.
Cookies to slot in here.
Okay. Let me see if I just made it stop, y'all.
Yes, you did.
Gotta take
Nope.
a second.
Okay, that's true too.
Well, because now you're listening to it back.
Let me just
See, watch. I'm watching us on the video. I know what it was. I'll tell you if I make it work. See, now we're in a time warp loop. You're watching it, and while watching it, it's playing.
Yes, you did.
What the hell? Is this Inception? Turn it off and turn it back on. Let's see. So, see, now we're in a time warp loop. Oh my god. Okay, so would y'all like to know what happened? You're watching it, and while watching it, it's playing. I know, we're in an Inception right now. Okay, everybody says it stopped on their end.
Okay.
Okay, so would y'all like to know? You got to turn that off now because
Yeah.
it's going to keep doing that. Okay. So here, so what happened was, I had, we had some tabs open on the browser for YouTube that were on YouTube videos, and they were auto playing, but we didn't know that because without headphones on, we can actually hear zero audio out of this computer. We don't have speakers on it, like outward, like speak. Yeah. So, yeah, that was videos playing on our browser. We're here. Oh my god. Oh my god. And this is why we get here early. So weird stuff can happen, and I can find out that I allowed a weird thing to happen.
Why do you have YouTube set to autoplay?
I don't. First, I do not. I'm an anxious person who doesn't like too much around me. No, I don't have anything set to autoplay. Ugh. Oh my God. Okay, I missed saying hi to everybody because we're...
Okay, anyway, just a quick disclaimer. There may be a point I have to step away from the camera and the mic. The lawnmower is being returned from the shop today.
But did they give us a time?
They give us a time? No, they did not. They'll just show up with it, and I'll have to scoot away to the door to receive the machine. So I may have to go away suddenly.
And like I said, if it happens in the middle of the episode while we're trying to talk about the thing, we'll put the audio on pause. We'll shoot the breeze till he gets back, and then we'll pick up. But if it happens towards the end, like the bonus section, then we'll just do what we do.
Yeah.
But we don't know if it'll happen at all. And I miss saying hi to everybody because we had to figure out the audio issue. I'm going back to the top. Good morning, Lady Blooding. Morning, Heather. Hi, Ashley. Hi, Shidino. Hi, Crystal. Who do I see? Hi, Mr. Spock. I'm looking. Hi, Maddie. Hi, Matthew. I'm looking. I'm scrolling. Hi, Christina. I'm scrolling. Hi, Tanya. I'm scrolling. Okay, I think I caught... Hi, Liz. I think I caught everybody.
Hello, everyone, and welcome.
Oh, Taste, you know that the motorcycle's not allowed to come home right now. That is not allowed to go on the credit card right now. That has to wait a couple of weeks.
Yeah, no, no, not heard anything on the motorcycle yet.
It can stay at its sleepover for a little bit longer.
The gas tank alone could take a little while because they have to send that out. That's being sent. The tank is being sent out to a radiator shop. They have to clean the rust out of the tank. Yeah, the tank had rusted, and then resurface and seal the inside of the tank. So that's going to be a bit of a process.
Yep.
Yeah.
Hi, Silent Wing. Okay, we have 2 minutes till we're actually officially here. There are no links to our shirts this week.
No.
I got yours from Target.
Yeah.
This love is love. They had a whole Pride section on it. I know there's a conversation to be had about the commercialization of Pride, but it was also very nice to walk into the Target and get the things I needed and to also get all the boys in my life something Pride worthy. I didn't see anything I liked for me, so I just went, okay, I won't. My shirt, I'll stand up so you can see it. Says, roll me in fairy dust and call me a unicorn. And I got that at Rural King, where apparently I'm getting my graphic tees from now on. Look, there's a lot. There are some things that no, as a Southerner, not exactly proud of. Certain things, no, I don't love. But our sarcastic wit on a t-shirt, sometimes that shit's good.
Hey, I found some great work shirts there. Nice heavy pocket tees.
You did. They're actually big on you. We probably should have gone down the size.
That's all right. I'm
That's
fine.
Okay. Yeah.
They'll probably
just
shrink
put a belt around it. So, yeah. So when we looked at the Pride prints from MeUndies, we had to take a MeUndies sabbatical, but we have our Pride undies from MeUndies from last year. So there we go.
Yep.
Hi, Tiana. Okay, it is exactly noon. Let us go ahead and get started. Our topic today, because I didn't put the title in, because I was like, let's take the 5 minutes we get of monetization before YouTube yanks it. I'm taking an idea that is not at all new. People have done it a million times. We're just doing it, and I've already thought of a twist on it. We might try it at a future date. But I went scrolling through some BDSM subreddits, which are the parts of Reddit, if you are not familiar with Reddit. I am so unfamiliar with Reddit that I cannot explain it properly. I know what a subreddit is. Don't have the language for it. And I picked a few that looked interesting where people had posted what their issue was or what their question was. JB has seen none of these, and we're gonna see what we think about them. I tried not to pick anything that was too heavy or too out there, but something that was interesting, something that was beyond the norm. The answer is just talk to your damn partner, right? Like that kind of stuff. So that's what we're gonna do today. I think I have 6. We'll see how long that takes us. Okay. Yeah, that's the topic. No links for the t-shirts. You didn't turn
I didn't turn that off.
the sound on your iPad.
There we go.
We are having audio issues today, apparently.
It's just, see, you give us a week off and look what happens.
1 week
Oh
off.
my gosh.
And if you happen to enjoy anything that you see here, and we don't scare you off, that's the words I was looking for, we'd love a thumbs up. If you haven't already and you'd like to come back for more because we didn't chase you away, please consider subscribing. If you subscribe,
hit that notification bell so you get updates of new content.
you said it with such intensity. Did you, like, were you having a moment there?
Yeah.
Okay. If you enjoy this, want more of it, want access to a special Discord server, want your own, like a special monthly live Q&A, want other stuff, you can join us on Patreon. That also supports the work we do. Thanks. Hi. And that is patreon.com/KaylaLords, but the link is in the description box because it is always in the description box. Okay, so.
I've been intense all morning.
You have been. You've been in like work mode. We'll talk about that in the bonus section. If I remember, do you know how many times in a live stream or the start of a podcast I've gone, I'll talk about that in the bonus section. I never talk about that in the bonus section. So, yes, we're ready to get into the episode.
Yep.
You may click your magic audio recording button.
Okay.
Okay, so before we get into the episode, because we took a week off and this is what happens, we've got announcements. Not major, just a couple. One, weekly reminder that thekinkery.com, an e-commerce store, not to be confused with some group in some place, somewhere, that apparently is also on FetLife, that ain't us, exists. It's JB's shop. And right before we went on break, we released 2 new products. One is paddles in different rainbowy kind of colors. Single colors, y'all, don't get too excited. Stained with unicorn spit. We call those Pop-O colors. And also, the thing that might be relevant to people who would listen to or watch Loving BDSM podcast, I created some planner stickers. And they're, planner stickers, yeah, if you do planning. But one of them is the Loving BDSM logo. So if you're like, I need a reminder on my calendar, my physical paper calendar, that the live stream is coming or the whatever, you can use one of our logo stickers. Plop, there you go. The other one is I took the It's Fine, I'm Fine, Everything is Fine sticker, and I turned that into a planner sticker so that if you have a day that totally was not fine, but you just need to be a little snarky about it, you can put that in your planner too. So thekinkery.com, it's all there. That's our thing. Yay. Okay. Second announcement. That is a reminder. If you're watching on YouTube, you can see this. Our board behind our head where we collect postcards and cards that get sent to us and fun little things in the mail because the baby girl in me loves getting stuff in the mail that's not a bill, is empty. I finally pulled some stuff down, minus some fan art that is gorgeous from Tofu Kitten Club. But just a reminder, the postcard project that I started at the end of 2020 still going on. So if you send us a postcard, a Hallmark card, a handmade card, you don't have to spend a lot of money, the price of a stamp in your area, we will get that and we will send you a postcard that says, I'm fine, it's fine, everything is fine. Excuse me, sorry about that. And so I realized that we've gone like weeks and I've forgotten to even mention that's a thing. Our mailing address is on the website, lovingbdsm.net, in the show notes of the audio podcast episode, and in the description box on YouTube. But for people who are like, yeah, just give it to me, here, we'll do this. Get your notes app up, get a pen right on your arm. I don't care how we need to do this. It is P.O. Box 434, P.O. Box 434, Ocala, O-C-A-L-A, Ocala, Florida, 34478. 34478. Yes, we live in Ocala, Florida. I don't know why I don't ever just say that when our town is we put it on everything. I always stop myself. I don't know what the fuck's wrong with me. So, there we go. Those are my announcements. Now we can get into it. So,
okay.
I just took a few from Reddit, and I went to 2 main subreddits on Reddit. One was BDSM Community, one was BDSMadvice. There are other much smaller but still seemingly populated subreddits centering around BDSM. If this is not universally hated when we do this, and if we have a good time, we may do this again in the future. And the other thing I would say, Reddit is not for everybody. I tried to do Reddit several years ago, and each subreddit has its own rules. If they have good moderation, they have pretty solid rules, whatever they may be. And I unknowingly broke a rule in a subreddit. It was not a BDSM one. It was a sex-related one. And I got yelled at by the moderator, and viciously yelled at on the internet. And I have never posted anything on Reddit again. I technically still have an account. I understand the mechanism of Reddit and subreddits. I sometimes find reviews on I need to know the unbiased opinion of somebody of a thing, and I'll find it on a subreddit. But it's okay if you don't know what Reddit is. It's fine. It's a place where people go to chat, ask questions, stuff like that. These are all BDSM related. I'm gonna pull them up, and I went with the ones that gave me thoughts. Okay. Because I wanted to see what your thoughts were.
Oh, goodness. Okay.
JB. Okay. Please open my link. Yes. Just freaking open it. Okay. So the heading is the best way to flirt with a dom. So there's a whole bunch of story into this. It's a submissive asking the question. I'm not going to go into all the details. Basically they're the dom I'm talking to, he's really sexual. He knows exactly what he wants. He's got a lot of experience and all that. Our kinks match up. Yeah, it's great. We're doing a lot of sexting online, but I'm just not used to it, especially not kinky sexting. What can I say that will really get him going as a dom? They even give the caveat. I know everyone's different, so there's no, catch-all, but I just want to turn him on as much as he does to me. Oh, and that was the other thing I meant to say. There's actually some good advice, and people, responding well. There's always trolls, but it was actually pretty good. I tried not to read too many responses because I didn't want to be jaded. So, from a dom, yes, no, there's no one-size-fits-all here, but from a dom, what is the best way, in your opinion, to flirt with a dom?
Bend over and present your ass for spanking?
I feel like the answer is know his kinks and do your best to rub those kinks a little bit. Yeah. And I'm saying him, that's because that's this person's situation, but a dom. Mm-hmm. Yeah, know their kinks.
No, you have to, kind of talk to them and understand what they're about, what they like. It's long distance. I take it to a certain extent since they're sexting, but that's where talking about having a kink list of what you like and what you don't like. Is the dom a voyeur?
Right.
Would they like some kind of maybe doesn't have to be overt, but some kind of pictures that hint that things like that. But it's whether it's flirting or anything, you have to know your audience.
Yeah, and I say this as somebody who thinks she sucks at flirting. I really do. I don't think I'm a good flirt. I think I'm a good flirt if I'm comfortable with a person and my flirting is really teasing. Partly because maybe this is because I'm submissive, maybe it's because of what you've done to me over the years. I know full well there's a point in teasing where a line is crossed. I don't mean a misbehaving line. I mean I've said just the right/wrong thing, and now you've got the look of the devil in your eyes. And I'm oops, I didn't mean to do that. And it's fine with you because I kind of did mean to do that. But when I try to flirt with others, either I just peter out and go, I don't have words, or I don't feel like I know them well enough, or I'm oops, did I take this too far? I was just trying to flirt. Or I go, oh, but I really would like to take this further, and they were clearly just trying to flirt. So I don't think I'm a good flirter. The thing I have done is not a good flirter, not a good sexter, but kinky and had to do it all through text many times. 1, I ask questions. 2, I tend to fall into my subby role. So you would sometimes send me something, and you love dirty talk anyway, and you love sexting. So you would send me something just filthy. And I would go, ooh, what do you want me to do, Daddy? Because what I'm trying to do is go, what would I do if you were standing right here? And in our power exchange role, I'm not taking, because of my personality, I'm not taking the lead on shit. So I'd be like, what do you want, Daddy? Or I would even fall into the fantasy trope that please don't try to live this reality of whatever you want, because we know it's fantasy, it's sexting, right? And I would actually let you lead that and guide that whole thing because you were more comfortable with it anyway. So obviously flirt with a dom. Is that dom comfortable flirting back, and are they comfortable with the way you're flirting, right? So if it's sexting, are they a good sexter? Then let them lead the conversation. Quite frankly, I have found, it's not universally true, but I have found that if I just follow your lead, I don't have to say a whole hell of a lot for there to be a lot going on, because I could go, yeah. What? I wouldn't have even said that in real life, but it was like a response. Or you would say something and I would send back like an appropriate emoji, right? Like that's how I would do it. And I think that, the ultimate answer is you flirt with a dom by playing to the kinks that you share and or they have that you're into. But also I would say if the whole point of the flirtation and whatever's going to happen next is some level of power exchange and they're the dom, let them lead to the extent in which they're comfortable. And they would also say, for anybody who just doesn't feel like a good sexter at all, asking questions and like pretend you're fun and flirty, like you have to like get in that mindset, and just ask questions. And also emojis are your friend. The purple devil face, smiling devil face, and also the eyes that look to the side, and also anything that indicates moisture. Like, done. I can have a whole conversation now. And yes, we're flirting, and I didn't actually have to think of anything. So that would be when I would say. But I also think, and here's my boring answer, okay? Here's my, we try to help you have better power exchange relationships answer. Outside of the moment of sexting, because it's no fun when you're in the moment. But when it's like a calm time and you're just talking about like the state of things in the relationship. Say, I feel like really awkward, or I don't really know how to flirt, and I don't really know how to sext, and what do you like? And just have that conversation. And like, I get that sometimes you don't want to like let them peek behind the curtain of the fantasy that you're like actually like sitting on the toilet while you're pretending to flirt by sexting. Like, I mean, I get that. Maybe that's not what you do, but maybe you just outside that time when it's not the time for sexting and it's the time to just chat. Just have a conversation about it and go, what do you like? That's to me, that's one of the easiest things to do as a sub when I'm dealing with a dom, especially in this kind of way. Like, what do you like? What do you want? Now, I'll tell you, I don't automatically give it to you just because that's what you want. Sure. I got to come back with, oh, that's not my thing, but here's what I do like, right? But just ask. And then to the best of your ability that fits within your boundaries and limits, just give it to them. But emojis.
I mean,
emojis
even with this, it is a bit of a kind of a negotiation. Yep. And
also, depending on your personality as a submissive, if teasing is like part of your thing, then just fall back on teasing. I have been called a flirt, and I don't think I'm a flirt, but I'm a tease, not in that way. I'll joke around and I'll make snarky comments, and apparently that is flirting. Also, I'll try to intimidate you, and that apparently is flirting because I don't know how to flirt. Okay, we're moving on to the next one.
All right.
Headline: what do you do if you wrongly punished your sub? So there's layers to that kind of question. So let me get into the details of this one because it's one of the nuances. So my girlfriend's a sub, and I'm kind of new to being a dom. We had an argument a few days ago, and I truly believe that she was in the wrong to me. It seemed that way, and so I punished her with no orgasms, that she had to earn them instead by pleasing me. But today, she brought up the argument again. We talked about it, and I realized that we were both kind of in the wrong. The whole thing was miscommunication. She didn't understand me, and I didn't understand her. And so now I'm thinking I may have wrongly punished her, and I don't know what to do about that. And he apparently in follow-up, he were like, don't punish in anger, blah, blah, blah. Right. And he comes back and says, yeah, I know. But it does say that, I think, so if anger makes us kink, you've made a mistake, blah, blah, blah. But he says, see, my girlfriend can be extremely selfish at times, so we decided to punish oh gosh, okay. In our argument, I decided, because when she's selfish, they decided to punish that behavior because they're trying to change that behavior. So in our argument, I decided she was being selfish, so she was punished for that. The problem is that after we talked about it again, which I commend them for, 'cause that's what you're supposed to do.
Right.
We figured out that we were both in the wrong by misinterpretation. And so now he's like, but I think I punished her wrongly. What do I do?
Well,
what do you do,
okay,
dominant
what
who
do
is
you do?
punished?
You can't go back and undo the punishment after it's done.
Right.
Unfortunately, there are no take-backs. But what is a very powerful thing, and we kind of talked about this a little bit earlier, say you're sorry.
Yeah.
Okay? Own up to your mistake. Take responsibility for it, and say you're sorry. You can't go back.
All you can do is take that information and move forward.
Take that information, go forward, and kind of learn from it. It's a growth experience.
Yes. Now, I guess then the question becomes, now I'm glad that the punishment, it was not like corner time, writing lines, like something that would be like more closely related to like corporal punishment. There was punishment where you don't just automatically get orgasms, but you could earn them. Like there's still some level, I think, of pleasure probably involved.
Yeah.
I wouldn't necessarily call it punishment because I don't know this person and maybe that was punishment. But it's also not like they had to abide excruciating pain or, it does not appear at face value, that they had to sort of like grovel for a thing, or that they, there was something like that. Yeah. So I think that helps in that situation. My question to you, to follow up from that, what if the punishment had been something like, maybe even a little harsher than what you would do to me? Maybe it was a spanking I hated that was not fun at all, thank you very much, or corner time, or just something I really hated, and then you realize later, that was not a punishment-worthy offense. What the apology? Absolutely, I agree with you completely. Learning from the situation, and learning from the situation is not just learning from the mistake you made, but thinking about what led to the misunderstanding between the two people, and then being aware that could come up again, and keeping that in mind, and maybe taking a little bit more time between the thing that happened, and deciding the punishment. Like, yeah. But if it had been a more firm, kind of mean punishment, what do you think you would do if that happened?
Oh, gosh, I don't know.
I mean, I feel like there would have to be a treat of some sort.
Oh, my goodness. Of course there would.
I would need a Diet Coke. I'm just saying.
Of course. The baby girl comes out. Yeah. Yeah, I think that, a treat.
Some kind of small amends.
Some kind of small way to make amends. It's it's a tough situation, something like that. And from reading this, there are some people, was this a argument about the DS? Was it something outside of the DS? There are times we have certain communications that are about our life outside of DS, and there are times when we have those conversations, we step away from our DS. There are no repercussions for what's said, as long as it's said respectfully.
Sure.
Regardless, that is a in or out of DS, that we respect one another in a conversation, that is imperative. So, what was the context of the conversation, so to speak? I mean, if it was a harsher punishment, maybe a treat, but my thing still stands. An apology needs to be made.
Yeah.
Owning up to your responsibility,
and then learning from it, and
sure,
then doing to the best of your ability, not repeating it in the things that could be repeatable. So if there's a misunderstanding about the behavior, then it's getting clearer and having more conversations about the thinking behind that behavior and introspection about that behavior and working on that. If it was a miscommunication in the communication, in the argument itself, maybe not the behavior, then that's when it's time afterwards. It sounds like maybe this is what they did. They kind of went back and they really looked at it more carefully to try and kind of sort of do that debrief aftermath thing of what the fuck just happened and let's move on from here. And you actually take that information and hold on to it to the best of your ability. So
we have had conversations, and some of them have been, we are both very passionate people, and there are times our conversations get rather passionate.
We also both think we're right, so that's fun.
There are times, I would not probably, and I haven't really, where I punished you for anything said, but there are times within the conversation I may say, baby girl, you're getting a little sassy and a little close to that edge. Think about what you're saying and just back up a little bit.
See, he makes it sound like he's thinking very rationally when he says that.
Not always,
Let me tell you what comes out. Baby girl. Really? You might want to watch your tone. And now I'm already fired up.
Yeah.
I'm already on the edge. And if I'm in the right headspace, then I'll at least turn it down a half a notch. But if I'm not, and especially if it's a very vanilla argument, it might get hotter in there.
Yeah. and sometimes I just have to say 2 words. Corner time.
Now, there was one argument we got into, and that one messed us up for several days because I flat out said no. Not to corner time, it was something else. You threatened punishment. I went, no, you won't. And that one was rough. And neither of us was respectful in our tones during that argument. When we both cooled off, I think we both agreed that I was right to say no.
Yeah.
But a couple things. One, as a submissive, that was hard. Also, as a person who never had the luxury at any point in my life up until now with you of being able to push back against authority firmly, righteously, and be allowed to be angry. I mean, from childhood on up, it's hard to do that. And what I find, I'm not like this anymore, but I can see it happening to other people, and I know it could have been me a decade ago, which is, you're right as the submissive. You're right, but you'll accept the discipline, the punishment, the tone, the whatever, because your dom's in a position of authority, and you go, okay. Whether it's you consciously go, I'm gonna take the loss on this one and I'll just fine. Or it's a subconscious thing and you just kind of do the, I must have to agree because I'm the submissive. That second part's not true at all. I think you can make the conscious decision to go, okay, I can be right or I can be happy. Fine. Let him win this one. I'll be fine. But the one that worries me, and I'm glad I'm no longer that type of person, I've grown from some of that, is that there would have been a time where I'd have let you just win the argument because you're the dom, you're in charge, you're the authority figure.
Yeah,
that's tricky.
Yeah,
that's where abuses of power can come into play, especially if you as a dominant understand that or have even a glimmer that might be true with your partner, that they will let you win those arguments even though you even know you might be wrong, or you realize later you were wrong and they didn't push back. I think that's where they have a conversation too, did you think I was right? Or did you think I was wrong and you didn't say anything? Let's dissect this a little bit. That is always for way later when everybody's calm and in a good place to actually talk about that kind of stuff, because that might bring up some heavier stuff as well.
Sure.
So, wow, we went off topic, but there we go. I think I like these for that. We'll see. We'll see. Okay, next one. This was very interesting to me. And I wasn't sure, and then I actually read a helpful response. Okay.
All right.
So... we don't talk a lot about kink shaming around here other than to go, don't do it. But so this question It's a little, okay. It says, is it kink shaming to not want to be fetishized? So here's the scenario. The reason I ask is that I'm a 6'1" deme, and oftentimes people associate height with dominance to the point of fetishizing tall doms. I really hate this because it's not like it's something I chose, and I don't actually think it actually correlates with my dominance. I think I like how they think. Height doesn't make me better or worse at what I do. It's like saying freckles make you more dominant or blonde hair. However, at the same time, I can't blame anyone for it. I end up feeling bad for being upset at people for comments like that. I realize that to a degree, you can't help what you enjoy, and preferences are certainly a real factor in picking a partner. I still feel like preference and fetish are different things and are treated differently, though. And this, I like, we love a self-aware person. They go, look, I realize my height is such a tiny thing to complain about in the grand scheme of things to be fetishized for. It's just the example I lived through and can speak to. So the first thing I would say is, I have nothing about me that I know of that has ever been, that is actively fetishized at me. So if people who have been fetishized for any trait about them that they, any part of them, and those opinions to me are always going to be more valid about how they feel about that on a personal level and their experience with it. So I know I'm speaking from way outside.
Yeah.
Where are you coming at from this?
So here's my thoughts on this. From what I have understood of what I've read, no, it is not kink shaming. All right. Just like there are people who want to be humiliated and others that don't want to be humiliated. They want no part of it. That's not kink shaming. That is their personal preference. That is their limit. No, I do not want to be fetishized.
Right. Right, yeah. I want you to see me as the person, not this thing about me.
Whether it's for my height, whether it's for my hands, being fetishized is not a thing of mine. Kink shaming would be somebody who is, let's face it, anything can be fetishized.
Anything's a kink. Everything's a kink.
Right, everything's a kink. So, I have no doubt there's somebody out there who has a fetish for tall people or, anybody in between. So, kink shaming would be going to somebody who wants to be fetishized for being tall and, what's that? Why, no, why are you doing that? That's ew. Your kink's not my kink, but your kink, it's okay to be accepting of it, even if you don't like it.
Right.
I mean, I know from being on Fed as long as I have, there are people who are fetishized for their breast, for their ass, and they love it. They, it's their thing.
And I think that's the thing. If you have there's something about you that can be a fetish, and you enjoy what that kind of fetishizing brings to you from a partner or certain partners or in certain situations, more power to you. At the same time, if you're like, look, I'm way more than my hair color, my eye color, my height, my skin color, my this, my that, then you have every right to go, if you can't see me for the person, I'm not interested. I think not wanting to be fetishized is right and valid. I think being okay with it, I would say the person who's okay with it, what I hope for them, and it's not my place to tell them they need to do this, is that they've thought through it, that they're actively choosing that, and it's something that they're genuinely celebrating. I think I remember being in my younger vanilla days, larger than I am now, and being with partners who loved a bigger girl, but they were more like excited that I was a bigger girl than that I was this girl that they were with, and that was rough because you don't always feel seen. So if you're all about it, you're like, adore this thing about me, go for it. That would be my recommendation to that person, would be to just make it a conscious decision and think through it and know why you're choosing that and have just whatever. But to say, hi, I like the fact that you think it's cool that I'm tall, but I'm not into just being your tall person. That's valid. That's not kink shaming. That's see me as a person.
that
demand.
is respecting somebody's limits.
That too. Yeah.
Okay? I mean, that's really what it comes down to. I do not want to be fetishized for XYZ. All right?
Yep.
That is a limit of mine.
Right. And if you can't respect it, and if that's all you can see, then we're not compatible. Or go the fuck away. Whichever works.
Yeah.
Whichever works. But that, and I know, if you watch the arguments online where there's almost no nuance most of the time, it's very frustrating because somebody will say, but I love fat women, right? That's what they'll say. That's what I love. And people are like, do you love a fat woman? Why? And then it's a fetish. Oh, Jesus Christ. How do you say that word? Fetishization. Wow. Don't ask me to say that word when I've been drinking.
I'm not even going to try.
To say that it's not okay, that somebody doesn't want to be fetishized is not shaming their kink. They're two separate things. I think the internet wants to blur the lines there.
Oh, yeah.
And that's the problem. It's not the problem of having the fetish versus not wanting to be fetishized. You can have the fetish. And you can also not want to be fetishized, and both are valid. It's
right.
It's how the person with the fetish interacts with people that, in their mind, fit their fetish.
Sure.
Because then it's about consent again.
And there are people who want to be
right
in that aspect, and there are people who do not want to be.
Yeah. It's really a question of consent. It's not a question of kink shaming. Now, if you came up and said, oh, you fetishize this type of person, you're gross. That's shaming. That could be kink shaming. I mean, is there a line? Yeah, you fetishize things that would be illegal, immoral, unethical. I wouldn't call that kink shaming.
But from what I've read of this person, from what they're wording to me, no, they are not kink shaming. What they are asking for is to respect the fact they do not want to be fetishized, and that is a limit of theirs. Respect that limit.
Consent. So yeah, you can consent to being fetishized if you're okay with it, and you can withdraw consent because you don't want to be. Right. I think that is our answer.
Yeah.
Okay, here we go. We're still going.
All right.
Okay, this one, I feel like there's only one answer to this, but goodness. Damn if Reddit wasn't trying to give a whole bunch of answers. Okay. There's so much to this question. This is one of those moments when the question being asked is not really the question that needs to be answered, but here we go. The question, what's the proper position to present my dom with a punishment tool? Here's the rest. My dom hasn't been punishing me lately, and I've noticed I'm getting away with it a lot. We recently started an actual relationship, and I noticed since then that he won't punish me anymore. Someone told me to dress up for when he gets home and present a punishment tool and simply ask for some discipline, so I got a cute outfit and a crop, but how should I present it to him? What is the proper kneeling position? Do I just simply hold it out to him? That is not the question you need to be asking. Can I?
Go for it.
No shame to this person. I get the feeling they are probably very new at this. They have been told that there's a thing that they should do, and it just hasn't occurred to them to go, hey, wait, is that the thing I should do? There is no proper position for anything to present anything to your dom to except the position the dom asks you to take, and until the dom and you negotiate a thing and a way to do a thing, there's no such thing as the proper position. I think anybody who's here at the Loving BDSM show knows that. I don't think that's new information for anybody.
I mean, you go out there and look at how many positions there are just from gore,
and that's
alone.
If you follow that. That's
if you follow that.
Right.
There is nothing set in stone that this is the proper position. It's what.
Right. And so if we just take the question being asked, which is not the question that needs to be asked, there's a whole other question here to answer. But so got a crop. Okay. So then I have follow-up questions. Is that something that they would punish you with? Do they want to use it? Crops aren't difficult, but do they know how to use it?
Yeah.
Is that within their limits? Have we talked about any of this? Which we clearly have not, because this person needs something from the relationship and thinks they found the solution, and they don't understand yet that the solution the whole time was to have a conversation with the dom about, hey, you've been letting me get away with shit, and I need that to not happen.
Look, Yeah.
I'm not laughing at that
the-
person. These
no.
are real things that I think people really
The
do
the
go
conversation.
through. Yes.
Many subs will say, "Look, it's been a while. I need to be centered. I need a good punishment."
Right.
You know.
But even so, like, I'm not this type because I want to follow the rules. Like, this is in me. But I know when I start sliding, I know. And it's not I don't do it as a conscious test to see if you're paying attention, but I am aware if you're paying attention or not, right? It might take me a hot minute, but I'll get there, and then I'll be like... And so for me, now I recognize we have a very strong relationship. It's not a new relationship. We've been doing this for a minute. But when something kind of like that happens, and it's not like this, but kind of, I'll go, "Have you noticed anything around here?" Like,
Yeah.
And this is the thing that a lot of newer submissives, and somebody in the live stream chat said, "That sounds like frenzy." You're right, it does.
Yeah.
And that is another thing. Submissives who are going through frenzy forget the broader strokes of this is a relationship. They're kind of get focused on the kinky part of it. But it's those kinds of conversations are legit conversations to have. You are not topping from the bottom. You're not being a bad submissive. You're like, even though, and not every submissive would feel this way. I know this because I know some brats who revel in their brattiness.
Yeah, well, that's a whole different story.
I can even also see not wanting to have the conversation because maybe you feel guilty that you know you've been breaking the rules. And yes, there was a purpose behind it to get, are they paying attention? Is there going to be follow through? What's going to happen here? Whatever the reason might be, because there's lots of reasons that can happen. And if there's any level of guilt or shame at the fact that you did it, it can be really hard to have to bring up and go, "Hey, haven't you noticed? Breaking the damn rules around here."
Huh? What? Eh?
Right. But that's the conversation that has to be had of, "Hey, so things haven't been going the way we had agreed, and you're not doing anything about them, and I was trying, and also I think it's really valid to go, look, I done fucked up. Can we work out a punishment thing? I need to I need this to be dealt with and resolved."
That comes down to the Dom needing to be held accountable.
Oh, sure. Because what's going on with the Dom that they're not paying any attention to?
Right.
I mean, that's a question, too.
You know, the whole thing of, you know, as a dominant, one of the biggest things you have to do is be consistent.
I think that's the hardest thing. I mean, the responsibility, but the consistency. Because life fucking happens and gets in the way.
Right.
And you got stuff going on. And in newer relationships, when it's all hot and heavy, that's the easiest time to be in it. But the moment some of that hot and heavy kind of like peters out a little bit, and then real life, something happens, work, school, kids, whatever, it's hard. And then it's really easy because when we've talked about this before, I really need to add this to our list of topics. What we're doing when we embrace our power exchange, especially when there's rules, tasks, protocols, expectations involved of the way a submissive will behave and what will happen. We are talking about changing habits, long-held habits. And the submissive does most of the changing because they are adapting their behavior to fit what their dominant wants. But a dominant then has to change their behavior to go, "Oh yeah, I'm supposed to pay attention to this.
Right.
And there are things I'm supposed to do if that doesn't happen." And that is a habit change. And is it possible? Of course it is. Many of us navigate it. But I'm not going to act like it's always the easiest thing. There have been times we've done some things and I've had to be the one to come to you and go, "Hey, you remember we're supposed to be doing this new way of stuff? Like, where you at? Are you with me here?" And kind of bring you along. And now, granted, we have that playful kind of relationship, and I can do that. Everybody's got a different
approach.
Way.
Right.
But I always have the option and the ability to point out, "Hey," and that is kind of like, I think one of the harder things about being a dominant is you kind of have to be self-accountable. But what we forget is submissives, there are ways to hold your dominant accountable that aren't as direct as the way they hold us accountable. Like, you have a direct, because of what we negotiated, if I don't do a thing, there is an equal and opposite reaction to that, right?
X equals Y.
Right. It's not that simple and cut and dry from the submissive to the dominant. But there are ways, and you find your ways, and you can talk about them explicitly, or you discover them as you gain a comfort level and you figure out how you best communicate. But I literally can come up to you and go, hey, you hadn't noticed this thing. What's up with that?
Right.
And that's me holding him accountable without getting in his face, without topping from the bottom, without telling him he's wrong. I mean, I do have the privilege when it's warranted to say, you done fucked up, you're wrong. Again, with respect.
Yeah.
But so that is and then it's what he does next that really says everything. So a dom who's willing to hold themselves accountable and be held accountable from a partner, even in that gentle kind of way, will go, oh shit, okay, and they're going to change their behavior and they're going to get back on track and they're going to work, or they're going to tell you what the hell's been going on and you're going to find a solution together. The dom that doesn't think they're supposed to be held accountable or doesn't fucking get it or needs a lot more education in what this means, it might not be the dom for you, is gonna like give you deer in headlights look or say the right things and then do nothing different. But that's how we do that. And that then once you see that, if you're in that position where you've had the conversation, whether the dom says the right things and does nothing or tells you that you're full of shit and ignores you, that's a sign that this isn't the right relationship. Like, what are we doing here? Because that's not how any of this should work. Now, your method for doing that might not be my method for doing that. But I think we have that. And that's what this questioner has completely missed. It's not, I need to get punished by my dom, and if I just wear the cute thing, have the right toy, and kneel in a certain way, I'll get it. Like,
no.
Will you? You might get some kinky fuckery. Maybe. If you happen to, through the power of mind reading, pick the exact right time, the exact right day.
That was the other thought that was going through my mind, because nobody is a mind reader.
No, and will they know that what this is even for? Like punishment, even punishment, not so much. We should do an episode on punishment. I have so many ideas, y'all. Punishment less so, but punishment, real punishment, however it's executed and whatever you use for punishment, needs to have a discussion of, at some point, what happened that was wrong, why the punishment occurred the way it does, what we're going to do going forward.
Right.
So this doesn't happen again.
The bottom line...
How is that happening with
the bottom line of it is there needs to be better communication.
Yeah. The question they were asking is not the question they should have been asking.
No.
In my opinion. Okay. Okay, so next one. We actually only have 2 more done. Mm-hmm. This one was interesting.
Okay.
And I really wanted your take on it.
All right.
Okay, let's get it to pull up. Did I pull these up before we started?
No.
So I'm waiting for the internet to cooperate.
Of course.
Okay. They asked how to move forward after being rejected by a sub. So this person says that it's kind of ironic that just the other day they were like asking different kinds of questions, but the sub informed them that they were not sexually attracted to the dom and were not interested in a dynamic, which kudos for a strong, clear communication.
Yeah.
Rejection is rough for me as a dom as I feel powerless. I wanted to ask if people who have experienced something like this have found ways to move forward in a healthy way that doesn't internalize this insecurity with subs I might find a better connection with in the future. OMG, can we celebrate some emotional intelligence here?
Yeah.
Holy fucking shit.
Yeah. Rejection is tough. No matter which end of the, which side of it you're on, rejection's tough. I give her, I give that person a lot of credit for saying, hey, look, I'm not attracted to you in that way, and I'm not interested in the dynamic. And I think what you have to look at here is that not everybody's going to be compatible with you.
Right.
Even if you're not looking to form a relationship bond, even in the matter of being a top and a bottom, if you're negotiating with a bottom and they don't want to be bruised and welted, but you're used to playing that you give somebody, bruises and welts that are going to last for days, you're not compatible to play. So I think that, you have to come to the realization that not everybody is going to be compatible with you.
Yeah, that's the hard part. Hopefully, in this case, this person, the rejection was calm and wasn't overly personal. Like, you suck, you're hideous, right? Like,
yeah, no.
If it's that's harder to walk away from.
Right.
But if they were calm and like, hey, this has been fun, but this isn't working.
Look, I think you're a decent person and all, but I'm not really that attracted to you, and
I feel like in that situation, if you can put that on par with, hey, that kink you like is fine, but it's not my thing. Right? Just like you're talking about. Like, this is a compatibility issue.
Yeah.
Harder when they make it personal and they're ugly and they're nasty about it, and they just hurt, and they said things thoughtlessly or purposefully to hurt you. This does not help in the moment.
I mean, if they do come across that way, they're not somebody you would want to be.
That's my point.
Yeah.
You're not going to probably think it in the moment, but when you can step back and calm down, is that a person you'd want to be associated with?
Right.
Here's the thing. First of all, JB and I are going out like Thelma and fucking Louise, okay? I've informed the children of this. I was like,
she did at dinner the other night.
Over the cliff, holding fucking hands. But I know that if we lived in an alternate timeline in the part of the multiverse, and you rejected me after however long, you would do it with kindness and compassion. I mean, assuming this is the part of the multiverse where you're not the evil JB. I mean, come on. And that is still painful.
Yeah.
But the pain is about the break, not about how I was made to feel in the break. If you've had a situation like this, the thing to do is, when you can get distance from it, look, feel what you feel, okay? If you feel hurt and you feel a little insecure and you're feeling to give yourself some time, especially if this was a longer term thing or something you're really like something you worked real hard to like build this bond with this person and it still didn't work out. Like, there's a grieving process.
Sure.
Short, long, it's still there. Give yourself that time. And then surround yourself. This is where kink community and kink friends come into play, and this is where they can be really important, because you can have these conversations with vanilla friends, but most of us know we can't go, well, they were supposed to be my 24/7 sub and it was gonna be great and I had all these plans. You have to go, yes, this person I was trying to date, and kink community, and go, I was the dom sub, here we were, right? A lot of that context is already understood, and you say, this is what they said and this is how it made me feel, and let your friends big you up and give you that outside perspective of, hey, that means that you're not wasting your time with somebody you're not compatible with, and you can go look for somebody else, right? This is another bit of information about who you are as a dom, what you need, what's the right partner for you, blah, 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 blah. And quite frankly, if you are part of a kinky community, you've got some kink friends that might turn to you in those moments of rejection or breakup or whatever, big them up. Like, make it a point to I don't like to blow smoke up people's ass. I don't like to tell them shit I don't think is true. But I love to fucking point out how fucking great somebody is if I think they're fucking great. I mean, I browbeat them with how great I think they are. I actually had to say to somebody on a call yesterday, did I browbeat you too much with all that? But I was bigging them up. I was like, you're this and you're that. And I, like, objectively, I'm like, here are the things and here's why.
Yeah.
Like, we all need friends who'll do that for us to the extent we want them to do that for us.
Sure.
And I think that's the other thing. It's really easy for our own internal voice to tell us the absolute worst. Well, hopefully we have a friend. Sometimes all you need is one person who can be that outside voice for you. Also, this is a cheesy thing, but I think it's cheesy because it kind of works and it's kind of true. Talk to yourself the way you would talk to a friend. I am so mean to myself in ways I would never talk to another human being. I would never say that, especially anybody I care about. Like, I see the best in the people I care about. I try to be honest and see the reality, but I see the good stuff, and I'm happy to go, here's what makes you great. It's okay to do that for yourself, and it's a skill, and it feels weird, and it might not be something you do out loud where everybody can hear you, but I think that's another thing, is to go, okay, this just wasn't right, I get to go try and find somebody else when I'm ready, blah, blah, blah. But yeah, that'll be my long-winded answer to that. I know everybody's shocked by that. Okay, last one.
All right. Oh.
See, you have to understand, JB has seen none of these. I'm the one that found them. Okay.
Oh.
So, this one is another nuanced discussion. Okay, I was very impressed.
Mm-hmm.
The headline for this is, quote, "Do whatever you want to me. I said this to my partner at the time while having sex. I had told my partner many times that I do not like to be bitten. This is a hard boundary for me, and I had made that very clear to him continuously. But after I said, quote, do whatever you want, he took that as consent to bite me. From his perspective, the language I used was unclear, but from my point of view, he knew that was my one hard boundary I was very vocal about, and he bit me anyway. My question is this. Is this assault, or is it both our faults this happened because I was unclear with my language and didn't have a conversation about consensual non-consent language beforehand? We have since broken up. I just think this is a gray area, and I'm looking for others' insights about consensual non-consent and dirty talk. And I do think this is a gray area because I think as individuals we can have really strong opinions, but you can absolutely about this specific kind of thing, but you can absolutely be in a relationship where you each have strong opinions if you were faced to this and you have a different opinion. I can totally see that. What do you think?
Initially,
Yes.
I think they were both wrong.
Okay.
Right? I have talked about, how in the past the sub will come into the community, do whatever you want me. I'll do anything.
Sure.
and
Anything I saw in that one porn.
and that is such a broad, okay, you're going to shave all your hair off. I want you to cut your pinky from your left hand. Oh, no, I won't do that.
Right.
So I think in our lifestyle, vocabulary is very important. And what you say is very important.
Yeah.
Now, that being said, him being aware that this is a total hard limit, that is something she said is completely off the table with her. Regardless of her saying that, not being pre-discussed, he crossed a line.
Yeah. See, I can say to you, and it's been a hot minute, but I can say to you, do whatever you want, or I can go more, or I can go be mean to me. My favorite is to tell you to be mean to me. But I know, you're not crossing my boundaries.
I am going to stay within the limits of what we play in.
Yes.
Okay.
That being said,
while she should have worded herself a little better.
Clarity is important.
Okay, clarity is important. Him crossing that line, big no.
Yeah,
Big no.
I feel like that was a lack of responsibility from that person because they had explicitly been told, this is my one limit. You're not allowed to do this. And it my uncharitable side goes, yeah, dude was looking for a loophole. We just finished recording the video about Kinky Book Club where we read the new Topping book, and one of the things we talked about was where they were like, you can't go looking for fucking loopholes. And this to me, my take on it is that to him was
because
a loophole.
That would be like for you, knives and needles are off the table. You want nothing to do with that. So if you were to say to me, Daddy, do anything you want, and I pulled out knives and needles, that would be a big breach.
Right. And I think there are caveats in the sense that could we, if we were feeling real frisky, play with consensual non-consent, pre-negotiate it?
Sure, it has to be.
Well, it should be.
Yeah.
And could I say, nothing is off limits. These boundaries I had, I trust you. I'll go there with you. Could I? Yeah. I have, because you have every right to change those as long as you're very clear about that so that everybody understands what's going on. This, kind of the way it's phrased, it's while having sex. It was a bit of the heat of the moment.
Sure.
I think I will continue to be leery of, even though sometimes I say it in the heat of the moment, do whatever you want. Not because it's an awful thing to say if you feel like you're in a relationship where you've established that level of trust and communication and everybody should know what the fuck's going on. But I guess because I will always have certain trust issues. Like with you, I know I can because we've gone there and everything. You never look for a loophole. You've never looked for a loophole.
No.
But would I ever have considered it when we were first together and I hadn't the trust had not been firmly established? Hell no, because that is too squishy of a thing to say.
Right.
Because do whatever you want, comma, within my limits is explicit. Do whatever you want, not that explicit. Especially if we're talking about folks who just play around with kinky sex but don't have the negotiations, don't have the communication levels established, which this does not sound like that because this person was very clear about their limit.
Right.
Where, you know, if it's not a relationship where there's constant ongoing, like, checking in with consent, like, what I would say to anybody coming to this situation, because once you're in it, you got to kind of deal with it. But if you're thinking about it, be very careful who you say that to. Even
at that point, when she said that, okay, he could have at any point said, "So does this mean I can bite you?"
Right. Yeah. I mean, there could have easily been a check-in.
Right. You know.
Yep.
Knowing that was a hard boundary of that person, all I had to do. So does this mean I can, you know?
Right. Or you could have, like, I can hear you growling, going, "I'm going to bite you."
Does that mean I get to bite you?
Okay. Actually, you would do that as a mind fuck, because I'd be like, no. You'd be like, yeah, you know.
Yeah. So, you know, there were a lot of things that could have been done different.
Right.
You know, like you said, you and I, we have the relationship where you could say that to me after 7 years.
Right. And also you would still check in.
Sure.
You would still check in. Now,
so, I mean, while, yes, the wording that she used.
I would just caution people to be careful of that.
Right. Be careful of the wording you use. But on his end, that was a flat out
that was somebody who saw
boundary.
A loophole and went right the fuck
and
through it.
dove right through it. Yes.
Yeah. And I think it's telling that they broke up later. We obviously don't know the details. And, you know, I would be mildly, not massively, but mildly interested to get the thinking from the other person.
Yeah.
But only mildly, because I'm also I'm clearly on this person's side if you can't tell. So I'm also predisposed to think you were looking for a fucking loophole, you asshole.
Yeah.
That's what I'm thinking. But yeah, so if words matter, and I think that until you know in your heart of hearts or think you know, because mistakes happen.
Yeah.
That this is you're not playing with a person who's looking for a fucking loophole. The way we word things matters. It does not negate the other person's responsibility. And I don't want it to sound like that. But to protect ourselves, which I think we all need to have some awareness of that, if there's ever a question to you of would this person go searching for a loophole, first of all, I mean, I feel like there's bigger issues there if you're worried. But do whatever you want within my limits. Or if you think that might be part of your play in the future, this is where I get like all real mom-like and boring. Have the conversation before you need it. Like, what does that mean to you? What does non-consent consensual non-consent look like to you? Or, hey, do you think we'd ever play with consensual non-consent? I would like to establish now, whatever my boundaries are, they're still happening. They're still there. You know, those are valid conversations to have if you can think to have them before you need them. So...
Yeah.
But yeah, we got through them. This was
we did.
Fun.
It was kind of
it was
It was. I enjoyed this.
So I will say, if anybody else enjoyed this, the doorbell just rang.
Okay.
I will finish up. We won't worry about pausing. You go do what you got to do.
All right.
I was only gonna pause.
Mark down the,
Yeah. I will be you for 5 minutes. I was only gonna pause if it was in the middle of the content. So if y'all enjoyed this format concept, reach out to us. If you're listening on the podcast, reach out on socials, reply to the newsletter on Friday. If you watch later on YouTube, feel free to leave a comment, like whatever. I actually have another idea that when we get in the bonus section, I will ask y'all what y'all think. I asked JB and he's intrigued, but I kind of only want to do it if anybody wants to listen to it. So, so all of these came from BDSM subreddits, BDSM community, BDSMadvice. I think I saw in the live stream chat, somebody was like, oh God, Reddit is awful for BDSM stuff. And I kind of expected that. And I don't know if I just hit it on a good day or what. Most of the questions and most of the answers were, even if I disagreed, were not awful. So take that with a grain of salt, tread carefully. But as you can see, some interesting scenarios happen. So that is it. I have to finish this out without JB, and I'll tell you why in a second. So hold on, I have to be him. I have to be him. So I'm gonna do this, and I'm gonna say it, and I'm scared to say it because when was the last time I said it by myself? I don't know. Okay. Are you back for real?
I'll sneak in real quick and say it.
Okay, say it with me. Say it with me.
Ready?
Keep it kinky, y'all. I will see you next week.
Okay. Give me a minute.
And I have to. Daddy, can I talk to the crickets, please? Why, yes, of course you can, baby girl, because you can have anything you want. I did that I almost cracked up in the middle of it. Okay. Oh my God. So, okay, that was our episode. And Silent Wing 2 is clearly on Reddit more than I am. Did mention that I happened to find the only 2 well-moderated communities on Reddit for BDSM, and they're run by the same person. Thank you, Silent Wing, for that information. That makes sense. Those rules were tight. Like, they even had like a auto chat thing, like when you make your post in the subreddit, there would be an auto reply of, here are the freaking rules, don't forget them. So yeah, those 2 were pretty good. So yeah, we're in the bonus section. I feel like I did it all wrong because he wasn't here and I probably forgot something. So, let's see. I don't have an emoji of the week because I really just couldn't be bothered. I think I'm giving up on that because I really just keep forgetting. And I'm not that creative, to come up with one. So, my idea for a future episode. It just came to me today. I have so many ideas, y'all. What if? So where this episode idea came from was I was listening to the Simply Podlogical podcast on YouTube. Are you back? Yeah, you're back. Okay. And we have a lawnmower again, don't we?
Yes, we do.
Yay. Okay, good. Okay, so I was listening to Simply Podlogical, and every so often they'll do an episode where they'll go through the relationship advice or relationship subreddit. It's a Reddit thing. And they'll talk about the scenarios that they see. And like, what do we think about this? And what would we do? And what would we advise, right? And I was like, I'm watching it. And I'm like, we should do that, but for BDSM stuff. And I had kind of hoped there'd be like a BDSM relationship subreddit. I couldn't find it. It might be out there. I just missed it. So we did this. But I had another idea. Tell me what you think. I'm very curious if anybody's interested. What if we went to the relationship subreddit where it's mostly vanilla, not always, but mostly vanilla. And we discussed vanilla issues through the lens of kink. Like, what would we do if this was us? I don't know. It's kind of intrigued me. And you want a noodle, and I just want to know if anybody would even care. So, I mean, I feel like the answer would be just fucking talk to one another. Right. Because even when the Simply Podlogical folks, Christine and Ben, were saying that, most of them were like, look, could y'all just have a conversation with one another?
Yeah, really.
So,
and I just want to jump in real quick because I see a little sub conversation going on there in the YouTube chat. Y'all know where I stand on naps, especially if you're part of the Discord server and saw the picture that Kayla posted yesterday.
More naps for everybody.
Yep, naps are good.
You missed my effort at being comedic.
Oh?
Well, we closed the show. We did our Keep It Kinky.
Right.
Well, then there's more that happens after that. I did write down the time for you.
Okay, good. Thank you.
And I played the part of both baby girl and daddy.
Oh, my goodness.
And gave myself permission to talk to the cricket.
I'll have to listen to that later when I'm editing.
Hi, we 1 week off, and this is when we come back. Okay, so. Okay.
Oh, God.
Let's see. Yes, the brief pause was because our lawnmower was dropped off to us.
Yeah.
If we had had the ability to go drop it off and pick it up ourselves, we would have paid a third the price.
Yeah.
We probably need to invest in a trailer.
Right. And I was thinking about that because between the motorcycle,
Yeah.
having
And
to
now
have that picked up,
the gifted riding
and,
mower
and
we
now
were
the
given.
gifted riding mower we've been given,
Thank you to my aunt and uncle.
it might be worth it to invest in a small trailer that
'cause
would fit both.
We're paying extra for repairs on both because
Right.
we can't haul it ourselves. So,
Yep.
yeah, we'll add that to the list.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so that's what that was.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. Lola update. She is a good girl who snores very loudly.
Yes.
We recorded the video earlier for Kinky Book Club, and she
And
snored
she
through the
snored
whole
all the
fucking
way
thing.
through it.
Y'all, we recorded for 41 minutes, and she snored through the whole damn thing.
I'm thinking I should put a camera on her when she's sleeping and record her snoring, and put that up on YouTube, and that would be like an ASMR thing.
Oh my god! I'm not gonna lie. Because of the way the window between the office and our bedroom are now open for airflow because it's hot now, y'all. I fall asleep to the sound of her snoring every night.
Yep.
Now it's
Yep,
a little.
yep.
It's a little bit of that. So, but let's see, what else? Onyx and Ella are basically. I've decided they are evil stepsisters to one another. They are not evil stepsisters, but when I have to talk to one about the other, it's easier to go, okay, look, your evil stepsister is out here being a bitch. Just, it's fine. They just are. They grudgingly get along when they have to, and then out of nowhere, one will smack the other. It was for the longest time Ella being aggressive to Onyx, and now Onyx has fewer fucks to give, and she will come out of nowhere for a thing Ella did like 5 hours before and just bop her, and I'm like, I
Right.
can't even be mad at you.
Well, you
Can't
know,
even be mad at you.
Ella does have her own thing going on. The oldest did sleep in this morning, and you know, he had every right to, per se. He didn't have what they call zero period this morning, so he didn't have to be up as early. Plus, he had exams today.
Oh my god, yeah.
So, you know, he slept in a little bit, which meant he did not get up at regular time to feed Ella. Well, apparently Ella gets hangry.
Oh, she does. I mean, I understand. Same,
tried-
girl. Same.
At the very same time, Ella tried to pick a fight with both Onyx and Lola. So I'm
Look-
like, Kat, you are treading on some serious ground here.
You're not acting very bright here. is
No,
what we're
no.
saying. Like with Onyx, okay, they're literally of the same size. They're
Yeah.
just different colors. But Lola at
Right.
breakfast time?
Yeah.
No, we're not messing with Lola when she's about to put her snout in some food. Like, what?
Ella, you know, Onyx, well, you know, you're on your own with that one. But, you know, picking a fight with Lola, you are so lucky she is good-natured.
Yeah, thank God. Thank God. So, in other news, today is the last day of school, the day of recording. So, podcast listeners, you'll be hearing this after this.
Yeah.
But the Wednesday that we're recording is the last day of school. The 15-year-old finishes 10th grade. He is going to be a junior in high school next year. He might be getting his driver's license this summer. That is still to be determined. And I, who do not consider myself sentimental, especially about like milestones and blah, blah, blah. The 11-year-old is finishing elementary school, finishes 5th grade. He'll be going to 6th grade next year, middle school. It's a whole different campus. It's a whole different world. Elementary school, they're like all, if for the non-US folks, they're coddled. They're the babies. And then you send them to middle school and it's in between that elementary baby stage and high school stage, and it's just a whole different world, and we're all nervous about it already, even though it's 3 months away.
Yeah.
And yeah, he's ended a stage of his life, and I almost teared up this morning, and I was like, what the fuck is wrong with me?
And Silent, yes. He had
Ella let the 15-year-old sleep
well,
because
he knew what he was doing because he closed his bedroom door.
and she came to us.
Yeah.
I woke up in the middle of the night, and all I felt, and I mean, I was just filled with such a warm glow of love because I felt this little kitty cat tongue cleaning my ear and cleaning my hair, and I'm like, oh, Onyx is cleaning me. She has accepted accepted me as her own. And I put my hand up because me and Onyx have a way of how I pet her and she allows it. And I put my hand up and nothing, not the bump, not the put her face on my hand. And I went, oh, okay. And I put my hand down. And then a little bit later, I heard Cat was still at my hair licking. Heard another cat on the dresser where my collar is, where the key to my collar is, and I'm like, oh, fuck that. Damn Ella, she's on the dresser. She's gonna get into my stuff. So even though my eyes won't even fucking open, I don't even know what time it was. I get out of the bed to shoo who I think is supposed to be Ella away, and lo and behold, that's Onyx, which means Ella had been the one grooming me in the middle of the night. And I have still not been accepted by Onyx because now the stink of Ella is in my fucking hair. I have washed my hair since, but you know what I mean. I was like, it's really sweet of you, Ella, to clean me, and thank you so much. But also, that warm glow of love diminished a little bit once I realized it was not Onyx. Oh my gosh. So... yeah, there's been a lot. There's been a lot. I was a shop elf on Tuesday for Kinkery, thekinkery.com. I learned how to wet sand resin. And I sanded my fingernails in the process. I was so glad I had not done my nails. I'd have been really pissed off.
Yeah, I'm slowly but surely teaching my shop elf some new things.
I know, and I have so many new ideas, and we're just not moving fast enough. I don't know if y'all have met me. I'm a tad bit impatient sometimes, on occasion.
Go figure.
Maybe. Allegedly.
Yeah. So, and what else? Me too. I am anxiously awaiting the end of the school year today. For you that means morning, and for me that'll mean no more afternoon trips.
Well, and it's funny because the summer off, no kids going to and from school, but the 15-year-old is in a leadership position with band. He had to interview for it. He got selected. I was like,
very cool. I'm very proud of him.
Trying not to be too effusive with him. I'm very proud of him, but I knew if I was just gushed, he'd be like, oh God, shut the fuck up, Mom. Yeah, so I was like, I am very proud of you. Come give your mom a hug. And then I was like, oh. Or he couldn't see me. But so he was trying to coordinate. Yesterday was the last day they were all kind of meeting officially at school because they didn't have class today. And he was trying to coordinate some of their leadership stuff they're going to do over the summer. And he's sending me text after text after text. And I was like, I finally went, look, just make a list of whatever they're talking about. We'll work around it. The only one where I screwed up, he was like, we don't have anything on June 8th, right? They want to do a leadership blah-de-blah. It'll be all day long. And I went, yeah, they'll be fine. Because I was in the shop sanding my fingernails. And I come in to the office and I went, oh, fuck, he's got his second vaccine shot that day. Thankfully, he can go later in the day. And I went, look, we could reschedule this vaccination, but I'm not. It's the second one. I want you to get it the moment you can get it.
Want it done.
So you better be done by a certain time that day, but we'll work it out. So yeah, he's about to be very busy. And he can't drive yet, so we are about to be very busy driving in places. So I am just really excited that they managed. This is the second school year since either kid's been going to school. We've had this. They actually managed to finish school before Memorial Day.
Yes.
What typically happens is we go this whole week, and then of course you have Memorial Day off here in the States, and then they go for like 1 or 2 more days, and I'm always like, why did we do that?
Why?
And I know why. What they have to do that is you have to start super early. So they will go back to school if they repeat this calendar like the first week of August. They'll be back at school. There's no waiting until after the U.S. Labor Day to put them back at school.
No.
We're back in early August. I also won't mind by then. I'll be like, oh, look, this is my annual reminder that teachers do not get paid enough, and which teacher would like to watch my child now?
Right.
I would like to hand them over to you.
Yep.
But they're also at an age where they kind of like don't fucking need us, don't fucking want us, just want to do their own thing. The 11-year-old is going to his grandma's for the summer, most of the summer. He'll leave first part of June and probably be back first or second week of July, which will work because then there'll be 2 to 3 weeks and then there's school. The 15-year-old wants to learn how to drive, can't get his license till July, but he also wants to try and get a job. And I'm like, can we wait till after you get your license? That'd be great. Because technically there are places that will hire 15-year-olds. I don't think they're that desperate of need for people that they're going to hire a 15-year-old over anybody above the age of 15.
Yeah.
But you never know.
I mean, I wouldn't care so much if it was someplace close, but some of the places he's talking about wanting to work are a bit of a drive out.
He wants to work 30 minutes away, and I'm like,
yeah.
I love you. I love you so much. Thankfully, we're not in a position where you have to work, so that can wait until you're driving your damn self.
Yeah.
And then you're going to realize you don't want to work that far away from home if you can help it. The Dunkin' Donuts a mile up the street sounds much better once you have a commute. But, so there's, oh my God. My youngest is not in like little kids school anymore. He's about to go. We're about to hit the middle school years where they become terrible for a little bit. Oh God. The oldest might be driving by the end of summer. What the hell?
I know.
I'm excited, and I'm also like, I don't. They were literally just in diapers 5 minutes ago, right? Like,
life is coming at us.
I know. And also, at least with the 15-year-old, we've given up most pretense. Like, we'll just have paddles sitting out on the shipping station.
Yeah.
He's like, do I want to know what those are? And I always just look at him and go, I don't think you do. And finally he started going, I know what they are. Now it's, do I want to see if you'll say what they are? And I'm like, oh, you want to do Battle of Wills with me, your mother, who has watched you scream and cry and not flinched? Oh, no, don't fuck with me. I will win.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's, yeah, Mr. Spock, you're right about the car insurance.
You're right about the car insurance.
In the live chat, Mr. Spock said, RIP, your car insurance budget. Yeah, so we put him on our insurance once he got his learner's permit. And the nice thing about that, they were like, okay, he doesn't actually have a license yet, so he's on at no additional cost. But the moment he has his license, here's what your new premium's going to be. And it literally doubled. And I was like, oh my God. Okay, maybe he's going to have to get a job and pay for his fucking insurance.
So he's also going to be very strongly encouraged, since he doesn't have the option of taking driver's ed at school. We did find a program he can take over the summer, which will help reduce the insurance
Yeah, there's
cost.
a free program run by the county. The sheriff's department, actually.
Yeah.
Highway Patrol. It's the Highway Patrol who runs it. Yeah,
Sheriff.
Somebody.
It's the sheriff.
Either way. And that will count for like the safety thing. And then there are several companies you can pay to give lessons to. And I was like, no, this budget cannot pay for lessons anymore. It paid for lessons once.
Right.
We're done. So now we got to do it. But yeah, he's actually getting on the routes he's familiar with. He's really good. Now
he's doing much
get him
better.
further afield.
He is becoming more comfortable with his driving. He's doing much better. Yeah, he's
my
getting the gist of
anxiety
it.
is not.
Mm-hmm.
No. So, yeah, it's a lot of mom stuff, dad stuff, dog parent stuff, cat parent stuff. My mom's coming to visit.
Yeah.
First weekend in June. She will leave with small child. Have not seen my mom. Technically, I saw her for about 20 minutes last summer when we did the kid swap.
Yeah.
But we didn't. It wasn't a real visit. And I saw her 20 minutes twice when we did the kid swap to get him there and to get him home. And so I have at least gotten to see her in the past 12 months, but we have not had a visit since, God, was it Christmas time? 2019? Yeah.
Easily.
So, like a lot of people, we haven't been able to see family, and we're going to get to do that. So that's exciting. Of course, we're going to go into a frenzy of cleaning because nobody in the family has seen the inside of the house either. So, and it's now quite lived in. We've been here over a year.
Yeah.
Quite lived in. Smelled strongly of dog. So we're going to film that. So, yeah. But yeah, that's us. Our break was good. It was until I got a sinus something for 2 days. That was miserable. But other than that, it was good. It was peaceful. And as you can tell, I think we're a little energized. The ideas came back. That was nice. So I think that's enough.
Yeah.
I think that's us. And we are so happy that y'all are here with us and y'all came back to see us. To listen
Glad to
us,
have you here
be
with us today.
Yeah, and handled our goofiness. So, we're back on schedule. The Kinky Book Club video comes out Friday for podcast listeners. It's the day this podcast comes out. We'll talk about the new topping book. Yeah, that's the name of it. What's the name of that book? I don't know.
You've been asked about the office tour.
I know. I actually, for half a second, considered filming it while I was on break, and then I went, I'm on fucking break. I just have to film the damn thing. Quite frankly, after I clean everything from top to bottom would be the perfect time to do it. Perfect time to do it. Yeah, I know. We need to. I do want to.
Yeah.
Maybe we will. We'll see. I'm working on it.
You promised it, and people
did.
are...
I was so excited until I thought about actually recording it. I've been trying to say goodbye for 5 minutes. Okay. Look at all y'all distracting me. Okay, we're gonna go now.
Squirrel.
I know, right? We're gonna go. We love you guys. We will talk at you, with you, to you later.
Yeah.
Bye.
Bye.